Any deviation of my instructions result in the immediate execution of your daughter. You will also be denied access, her remains for proper burial. Why does that matter? Proper burial. Care for. See, this is what I'm saying right there. That little proper burial. When we look at cases of individuals who are unalived, if the individual does not know you or what have you, it's more likely that the person who is close to you that does something will show elements of care, right? Proper burial is a statement of care, right? I care about you. So I want to make sure that this is something that the individual has thought about, properly burying the individual. The two gentlemen watching over your daughter do not, so they messed up right there again, but I guess they were tired since they were earlier drafts in the trash can. Particularly like you, so I advise you not to provoke them. We still have not established what John did. I don't mind, but now all of a sudden we don't like John. You said that you like my business, but not the country it serves. And now you got a problem with me? Okay. And we haven't established for what? I advise you not to provoke them speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, etc., which they did, will result in your daughter being beheaded. Okay. They talked to police, eventually the FBI, they talked to their friends. They read this letter. John read this letter and told Patsy to call police. He read this letter knowing this and told Patsy to call police. If we catch you talking to a stray dog, she dies. If you alert the bank authorities, she dies. If the money is in any way marked or tampered with, she dies. You will be scanned for electronic devices, okay? Oh. Who else would have known about scanning for electronics than the technology and electronic computer man himself? Okay. And if any are found, she dies. You can try to deceive us, but be warned. We are familiar with law enforcement, countermeasures, and tactics. That's a vague statement because that sounds like somebody saying, don't you dare. We know everything there is to know, your countermeasures and your tactics. We know that you do things. That's what that sounds like. Instead of being specific and saying, we're aware of the useful technology that, or the advanced technology that law enforcement uses to identify persons in wiretapping. We're familiar with those. Don't try to use those measures on us because we're trying to get you your daughter back. So this letter is kind of all over the place, right? This letter is all over the place because there's no sort of central theme. We don't know if they're mad at John. We don't know if they're mad at JonBené. We don't know if they're mad at the country. And we're not even sure if this individual really knows what they're doing. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter if you try to outsmart us. Follow our instructions and you stand 100% chance of getting her back. That's the third time that they assured you that you would get your daughter back. You and your family are under constant scrutiny as well as the authorities. So whoever this was, again, it has to flow in logical line that whoever is doing this has the house tapped. They got the specific authorities that they need to be paying attention to tapped. They have the bank tapped. So this person has gone, whoever is writing this letter is writing a scenario in which the person has gone and has tapped everything. And that the bank is going to open at, 7:30, 8 a.m. or in a reasonable amount of time for them to go get the money. My problem is with this statement here. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter if you try to outsmart us. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter. I stand a 99% chance of killing my daughter. How would I kill my daughter? The statement should have been, you stand a 99% chance of having your daughter killed, or it is a high probability that your daughter will end up dead if you don't follow our instructions. That's how statements like that are usually written, not you stand a chance of killing your daughter. That statement would be more aligned with, okay, I'm going to put this rope in your hand. If you don't give me the answer that I'm asking you for, then the rope's going to fall out of your hand in some sort of way. Or every time you lie to us, that means the rope's going to be, we're holding up the weight or something like that. Whatever. Doesn't matter. My point is that the weight of JonBenét's life is not directly in John or Patsy's hand, is what this letter is trying to tell us, or what should be said. We have the daughter. So your daughter's life is in our hands, not in your hands. And that's the point of this letter, is to say that we have taken the power out of your hands. And that's what I'm saying. It goes back and forth. We have gone to great measures to kidnap your daughter and take the power of your daughter out of your hands. We tell you, don't contact law enforcement or the FBI or anybody else. Don't look at a stray dog. Don't alert the bank authorities. Don't mark the money. Don't have electronic devices. It's 5 things on you, right? We're familiar with law enforcement and countermeasures. Don't do anything. If you do that, he dies. I am now taking all of the power out of your hands only to give the power back to you. That doesn't make sense. And now we go into childish language that I would say. This is argumentative language. Don't try to grow a brain, John. You are not the only fat cat around, so don't think that killing will be difficult. Don't underestimate us, John. So a very intentional statement to say that, John, this is your problem. We're placing all the blame on John. Use that good Southern common sense of yours. It is up to you now, John. So don't try to grow a brain. Don't underestimate us, John. Don't try to grow a brain, John. Don't underestimate us, John. Use that good Southern brain of yours. It is up to you now, John. Victory, SBTC. So there's repetition there. And driving the point home that this is all the decision making is on John here. John's money. Don't grow a brain, John. Don't underestimate us, John. And it's up to you now, John, to save your daughter. I'm sorry. That's the point. This letter is very John centric. Whoever wrote this letter had a vendetta against John or was focusing on John. And my problem with it being so John-centric is that somebody's trying to drive a point home to us. They're trying to drive a point home to us about this being John's fault. You did it, John. This is all your fault, John. You fix it, John. And that's why I say this is very antagonistic, argumentative language when we say, don't grow a brain. You're not the only fat cat in town. That's like something that somebody would say to their spouse when they're arguing with your spouse. Oh, you think you're the only person that can help our daughter? You think you're the only person who knows how to take care of our kids? Are you saying that I can't take care of our kids? Like, that's a statement of clarification in terms of being accused of something, right? You're not the only person with a brain. And then going on to, you're not the only fat cat in town. Fat cat, I think, being indicative of people being wealthy, or people having money. And so I think Obama used it when he was talking about fat cat bankers or something like that, in a speech or something like that. So we're saying, John, you're not the only person who's smart. Why would we say that? Why would we be accusing John of being smart? Well, because he owns a computer technology company. And so typically the stigma, or not the stigma, or the prejudice around that is that these are computer nerds, these are computer geeks, they're smart. And so, John, you're not the only person who can think things through and outsmart us, John. And so when we think about behavioral indicators, we have to read into the language and say, okay, what is this individual, whether it's a staged letter or not, what is this individual trying to communicate to us? And I think what this individual with that is trying to communicate to us is that all of the blame is on John. All of the blame, it's all John's fault. Whatever happened or will happen is John's fault. We ascribe no blame to our son, to Burke, to any other part of the family. Nobody else is mentioned. There's not, oh, we know that you have a son and a daughter over here. We know you have an ex-wife over here. You do anything crazy, they will be harmed. I would expect to see something like that. Very isolated to the family, right? It's just you and your daughter, John. It's about you and your daughter. We don't care anything about Patsy. We don't care anything about Burke. These guys are not even mentioned. It's about you, John. It's about your daughter. Whatever you can do to get your daughter back, John, that's what you need to do. That's how this letter is written. Very John-centric, very focused on it's all up to John. And whoever wrote this letter, whether pre-planned in terms of it being the intruder or whether it was Patsy, had a specific focus on John. John is the center. So there is something about John that John has to be the center of this letter. Whether it's, yo, something about you, I don't like you, I kidnap your daughter. Or, John, you got all the answers. You did this to our daughter, what have you. I'm gonna put the blame on you. And if you say, hey, Patsy, why don't you write us as a family in, right? Mr. and Miss Ramsey, and just address it to us. No, I didn't do anything. You did something. We're going to write the letter addressed to you. Because even in a situation in which we have to cover it up, I can't mentally or morally take responsibility for something that you did. I will not take responsibility in that matter. I will help you cover it up, but I will not take responsibility for what you did. And so that's interesting to me. So that's the video. I got some more analysis that I want to look at, but that's the video, and very interesting stuff. I got some stuff that, I want to look at Gary's handwriting analysis and Patsy's handwriting analysis, and go from there. But until next time, appreciate you watching. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Opposing views welcomed as well. Challenging views welcome as well. I like to see what you guys are saying. This is super cool. So let me know your thoughts. Until next time, take it easy.